nerds, and welcome back to Cinematic Sarcastic, a podcast that talks all things movies and television. I'm Natalie, and I'm your host. On today's episode, we are going to talk about The Last Thing He Told Me. This is a television mystery series. It's clocked as a miniseries, so I am not sure if this is the only season we will get of this, and it is based on the book, the best-selling book of the same title, The Last Thing He Told Me. I have to be completely upfront and honest. I have not read the book. I'm sort of half tempted to read it now that I've seen some of the television series, because this television series I feel like frustrates the ever-living bejesus out of me, and I'll explain to you guys why. That's what we're here for, right? So The Last Thing He Told Me, I feel like checks all of the appropriate boxes for wanting to make a television series out of a book, right? Like the casting itself, I feel like is pretty decent. And they went ahead and did actually, have the author of the book come in and help translate it from book to screen. So she was helping with like the script writing and things of that nature. So to me, it's like, well, you've got all of the right puzzle pieces, right, fit together to make something good. And the bones of the story, I feel like I'm actually interested in. Like, it's compelling enough of a situation, I guess, that I want to know what's going on. Like, I want to know what the mystery is. I want to, especially with, I won't do any spoilers or anything, but especially with kind of the cliffhanger ending to episode 3, now I'm intrigued, right? I want to know what the heck is going on. At the same time of being interested in like how the story plays out, I feel like the show is just it's not very good. Like, it's very strange to me. All of the acting in it feels incredibly stiff. Like, I don't know if stiff is even really the right word for it, but it's like there's no actual feeling or chemistry between anyone in the series. So I knew for sure there wasn't going to be chemistry, obviously, between the character of Bailey and the character of Hannah, played by Jennifer Garner. And it's like a stepmother, stepdaughter sort of situation. So I knew that was going to be awkward AF, through the entire series. But there is like zero chemistry, or at least I don't feel there is any chemistry between like Jennifer Garner and Nikolai Coster-Waldau, who are supposed to be married. And in the television series, like, they mention a couple of times that like they're coming up on their 14-month anniversary. Like, they have not been together long and obviously have not been married long. So in my mind, I'm like, well, the two of you are essentially in super sexy time relationship, whether or not he has a daughter, from a previous relationship who is grown. I feel like that shouldn't really play too much of a part in the chemistry between you and your partner. And if you haven't been together more than like just slightly over a year, I feel like you're still in that like sweet, good relationship period where you haven't started like annoying the ever-living shit out of each other yet. But they just don't seem to react that way at all. Like, they almost interact with each other, to me, kind of like a couple that's like almost divorced. not like a couple that like just got married, So it feels weird. It feels just sort of stiff and unnatural, the way that they're kind of acting with each other. And then the character of Bailey, who is meant to be a girl who's like in her senior year of high school, and obviously for the majority of her life, because I think in the story, like at the beginning of it, you think that her mother passed away when she was like 4 or 5 years old, when she was quite young. So for the majority of her life, it would just be her and her dad. And I don't quite know the dynamic of like older teens and sort of how they react to like their parents having another partner, but I was probably about this same age when my parents split up and my mom like started seeing other people and stuff. And I don't remember hating her partners. I just didn't like her very much. Like, because of the way that she had gone around it, you know. And in this like television series, there isn't any of that. So it's not like he cheated. It's not like him and Jennifer Garner, you know, did anything salacious or whatever. Like, he's been single an incredibly long period of time and then married Jennifer Garner. So to me, I'm like, it's not justified the way that Bailey behaves. And I guess for me, like, her behavior doesn't strike me as like someone about to go off to college. Like, she very much sort of has the attitude of like a 13-year-old girl, you know, in that she seems very spoiled and very just rude to everyone around her, that to me just feels like a much younger child's energy, as opposed to someone who's like ready to kind of venture out on their own and go to college and start discovering who they are, and, you know, that kind of thing. Like, her, I don't know, her character just rubs me the wrong way. So I don't know, but it just sort of feels like none of the characters throughout the entire series really just like mesh with each other at all. But the story itself is like compelling. So I find myself really wanting to know what's going on and really wanting to know like what is happening, you know, with the character of Owen, played by Nikolai Waldau. But at the same time, I'm just like, I don't like watching how robotic everyone seems to be, you know? So it almost seems like everything was good on paper and then just didn't transfer into an actual television show that like worked really well. So for me, it's almost kind of a bummer that they've got it tagged as like a mini series, because I feel like this is something that like a second season might lend to like more comfortability between the characters. But I, again, don't know where the story is going. So I don't even know if there's enough of a story to like continue something out. And like, maybe that's why it's a mini series. But this one, I don't know. I can't say that it's a fail, because I will probably continue watching it. Like, I'm interested enough that I want to watch it, but it's not a total win either. So it kind of skirts that line between could have been really great and like stuck in my brain forever. But because of the way that the acting is sort of done, I think it's one of those shows where I will finish watching it and then probably just completely forget about it, which makes me sad. I don't know. Maybe I'll end up picking up the book, because I am sort of interested to know if the book is better. I feel like it should be, because, you know, it's a bestseller and prompted them wanting to make a TV show out of it. So I'm like, it must be pretty decent. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes with me and reading books. But yeah, so those are my thoughts on The Last Thing He Told Me. I would love to know what your guys' thoughts are on this television show if you've been watching it. Please subscribe if you want to join the Movie Nerd family. You can find me on Instagram at Cinematic Sarcastic Podcast, and I hope to see you in the next episode.